Hi. Um, this is a lot less of a cheerful video than you're used to. Although I did just get paint on my sleeve, and that's absolutely hilarious, I guess. So, most of my channel consists of my cats, Jinx and Jigsaw. And that's not the case anymore. Or at least it won't be. Because yesterday, on April 9th, 2020, Jigsaw passed away at 1 a.m. in the vet office. I got to say goodbye to her the night before, which I'm very, very grateful for, but it was also really hard to not be there for her when she died. We chose to not euthanize her because at the time of going to see her, it was looking up. So we found her on April 8th at about 3 o'clock. We found her foaming at the mouth and very weak, and there was vomit everywhere in trails around the house, so we freaked and took her to the vet. Oh, I didn't take her to the vet, my brother did, because I had to stay home and make dinner. We thought it was gonna be fine. She's thrown up before, she's been fine before. But it was too little too late. She was really dehydrated and her temperature was dropping a lot. They couldn't find a vein because she was so dehydrated, so they couldn't give her IV fluids or do any kind of blood transfusion or blood testing or so they put her in an oxygenated kennel with heat to try to warm her up and get her in a better stable condition. They did some x-rays and they saw a blockage in her guts. We're still not sure what it was because after she died, we didn't want them to autopsy her because we just wanted to take her home and bury her. Yeah, so they were trying to warm her up, and that's when we got a phone call that they didn't think she would make it, and they wanted us to decide whether to keep trying to save her or to euthanize her. And Jigsaw was basically my cat, so my parents asked me. They said the decision was up to me. I said I wanted to see Jigsaw to say goodbye just in case, but I didn't want them to euthanize her. I wanted them to keep trying for any little bit of hope that they could have. So we went to go see her at about 9 p.m., I think. And Jigsaw was really weak. She was still foaming at the mouth because of the dehydration. And she couldn't really see me because I was the one holding her and she couldn't lift her head. they had gotten a catheter in, or a IV, a needle. They had found a vein. And so it was hopeful that they could save her, because they'd found a vein that was holding. So I looked at Jigsaw when they were taking her out to go keep trying to save her, and I said goodbye and see you later just in case. And I woke up yesterday morning under the assumption that no news was good news, because that's what the doctor had said. But it turns out that since my brother was the one who brought her to the vet, they called him instead of my mom. And they called him at 1 a.m. to say that she had died. And he didn't want to wake us up. So we didn't find out until later that morning. I'm not blaming my brother at all. If he had woken us up at 1 a.m. to tell us that she was dead, nothing good would have come of it. If we had tried to go pick up her body at that time, we probably would have crashed because we'd be blind from crying. My mom was a little upset at first, but she came to realize that it was probably a good thing. So we went to pick up her body at around 7 a.m. 8 a.m. Yeah, it was 8 a.m. And then we took her body home, and we let Jinx smell it to try to get her to understand that Jigsaw was dead. But the body smelled like disinfectant and cat pee. Maybe formaldehyde. I don't know. But it was really heartbreaking to see how Jinx was acting. And I wanted to get some footprints from Jigsaw. With paint, I needed something to keep. You know, after such a loss, I needed something to keep. And it was really hard because rigor mortis had set in and she'd been in a freezer since 1 a.m. But we got a couple good footprints. This isn't the best one, but I think this one's kind of cute. I missed 2 of her toes when I was stamping it, so I replaced them with little hearts. And we did her footprints all around the border of this one. We could only get one of her feet to work. Her hind feet were curled up because of rigor mortis. So only her front right paw was stampable. Her front right paw had just one toe that was white. Black paw with one white toe. So That was really, really hard for me. But I needed it. And then, we dug a big hole in the backyard. We prayed over her and said a few words. And we buried her. And right now I'm just painting her headstone. It's nothing fancy, just a big flat rock that we dug out of our front garden. Jigsaw, our little mischief. We got them both on April 27th. So we've had them for almost 3 years. And we tried to get Jinx to do footprints. It didn't work so well. We got them both when they were about 6 weeks old, so Jigsaw was about 3. And we're gonna try to get a new kitten for Jinx's sake, because it doesn't look like she's handling it very well at all. Also for my sake, I have complicated feelings towards getting a new kitten right away. On one hand, it'll be a great comfort, and on the other hand, I don't want to feel like we're replacing Jigsaw. And so, I'm gonna be praying about it a lot. And, you know, it's been really hard past day or so with losing Jigsaw. I've been crying a lot, seeing so many things that remind me of her. And, it's been really difficult, but at the same time, it's nice to just be able to cry, just let it out. She was the first pet that I could ever really call mine. We've had family pets before. We've had the dogs for longer than the cats. We've had horses, we've had fish, we've had a few pets. But Jigsaw was really mine. I was her person and she was my cat. And I couldn't sleep if I didn't have her sleeping with me or sleeping on my chair under my desk right next to my pillow. Or if she didn't at least come say goodnight to me. Which she often did. She often came in, acted like she was gonna snuggle up to go to sleep. And then as soon as I got comfortable, she would run over to the door and say, "Let me out!" Yeah. So, it's gonna be tough, and it's gonna be really tough. But, you know, grieving is part of the healing process, and I've come to realize that I've never truly grieved about a lot of things, so this is really healing for me in a lot of ways. Which is hard to say. It feels insensitive to say that my cat dying has helped me heal. But I mean, Jigsaw meant so much to me. She was my best friend. She was holding my sanity on. She was the last string holding my sanity in place. And she taught me so much. She taught me to be patient and calm. When we first got the cats, she wasn't nearly as cuddly. obviously it was a new situation, these strange people taking her to a strange place. I had to learn to be patient to get her to even come over to me to sniff my hand. But I did learn. I learned a lot from her. And she really just comforted me. She hated it when I cried. She was always making me smile. She was a good cat. And it'll be impossible to replace her. But for my sake and Jinx's, we're gonna try to get a new kitten pretty quickly. And I will show that new kitten just as much love and patience as I gave Jigsaw. But Jigsaw will always have a special place in my heart. If anyone else is dealing with the loss of a pet or a loved one, just, it's okay to cry. It's good to cry. It'll help. Love you guys. Bye.